Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite _UK. Explore strategies, identity, and team spirit. Register now.
What impressed me the most was Hansen's approach to her new role. She didn't talk about a complete overhaul or revolutionizing the team, but emphasized clarifying and building on the strengths that already existed. This reflects a rather pragmatic and thoughtful mindset. Change isn't inherently good, and not everything old needs to be discarded. A team like the Black Ferns, with its established history and identity, requires smart continuity rather than being torn down and rebuilt from scratch. However, this approach also raises a question for me: is preserving the team's identity enough to help it advance further? When Hansen mentioned that the team had underperformed at the last World Cup, particularly in terms of efficiency and team spirit, it partially reflected that traditional strengths, such as a chaotic, unpredictable style relying on physicality and individual brilliance, might no longer be sufficient to dominate opponents. In a context where other national teams are becoming increasingly structured and disciplined, a controlled chaos approach, if not upgraded, could become a double-edged sword. What struck me most was that this squad has many new faces.
Giving opportunities to rookies, especially those coming from development programs like Black Ferns 15, is clearly a necessary step for long-term growth. But it also carries considerable risks. International experience isn't something that can be learned quickly through training alone. When facing real matches, particularly against strong opponents like the USA, Canada, or Australia, the psychological pressure could prevent many young players from performing to their potential. I paid particular attention to Hansen's comment that there is no perfect moment to know when a player is ready. That sounds both pragmatic and somewhat risky. It's akin to accepting that growth sometimes only comes when you are thrown into real challenges. Personally, I feel this is a sound philosophy, but it must be applied cautiously. If players are exposed to situations beyond their capacity too early, it could not only affect their performance but also undermine their confidence in the long term. The loss of an experienced player like Chelsea Bremner due to injury is also a significant blow.
In a squad undergoing many changes, veterans serve not just a technical role but also as emotional anchors. Their absence forces other players to mature quickly, but it also risks destabilizing the team if there's no on-field leadership. A clear positive I sensed is the proactive mindset of change. Hansen acknowledged past shortcomings and highlighted that the team has focused on improvement, particularly in terms of mentality and consistency. I consider this extremely important. At the highest level, the difference between winning and losing is often not skill alone, but the ability to maintain focus and discipline throughout the match. Emphasizing doing the right thing consistently indicates that the team is moving toward a more mature version of itself. Looking ahead to the upcoming journey, starting with the match against the USA, followed by Canada and Australia, I sense that this is not just a series of games, but a comprehensive test. It tests not only tactics and personnel but also faith in the new direction. Early results may not fully reflect the team's potential, but they will certainly indicate whether they are heading in the right direction.
I take away a clear lesson. In any change, what matters is not how much you change, but what you change and what you preserve. Recognizing your core values, whether as an individual or a team, is the foundation for sustainable development. Chasing only novelty while losing your identity risks disorientation. Yet clinging only to the old without adjustment leads to falling behind. We often expect teams to win immediately, especially those with a successful history. But in reality, every development cycle takes time. Introducing new faces, changing coaching staff, adjusting playing style. All are long-term moves. Judging only by short-term results risks overlooking the important progress occurring behind the scenes. I also believe that fans need to learn to be more patient and fair. Supporting a team is not just about celebrating victories, but also backing them while they rebuild themselves. Young players need time to mature, and they need the audience's trust to play with maximum confidence.
Keep the core values, embrace challenges and growth. The journey continues. See you again.